Good evening. Well, here I am in the garden, and I'm seeing lots of surprises already. First of all, I can hear a squirrel. Can you hear him in the background? He's mad about something. And then, as I turned my camera on, I looked to see this little guy, who may be the reason why the eggplant leaves are looking like they have holes. I'm not sure, so I'm going to do a little research on him. Not happy about that. But the theme of tonight's video is the purples. I wanted to show you some of the hidden treasures in my garden that are such a lovely shade of purple. The first, of course, is the eggplant. It has a beautiful purpley flower, but it also has a beautiful, gorgeous fruit. Look at that. I have two, which I think I'm going to actually, oh, he's nice and large. I think I'm going to harvest them very soon, maybe this week. Have a lovely dinner, because I'm worried about creatures, and I'm also worried about all of this buggy stuff going on. So the eggplant is such an interesting creature. It has so many shapes and sizes. It's actually a fruit. It's a berry, if you can imagine. It's a very large berry, but by botanical definition, it is a berry. And here it'll grow about 1 to 4 feet tall, but when it grows in the wild, it can grow up to 7 feet. There are species that grow up to 7 feet. Now, in some countries, not in America, but in some countries, the eggplant is called different names. And I think one of the most common is the aubergine. And that's mostly, I think, in Britain. Comes from Arabic, from the very early Middle Ages. So it's a really extraordinary plant that has existed a very long time, and it's a lovely purple in my garden. The next hidden treasure is the rosemary flower. Look at how beautiful it is. It's tiny and delicate. It almost looks a little bit like an orchid when you get really close, doesn't it? I love that. Rosemary is a very interesting plant. If you can imagine, you probably don't know this, the flowers are edible. But it needs full sun, and it gets really good full sun right here, so it's very happy. It needs full sun for the flowers to appear. And it's also a bee magnet, which I like. I like having pollinators in my garden. It comes from the mint family, and its ancient name is Rosemerinus, which is classical Latin. My classical Latin is not so good, but Rosemerinus, which means sea dew, S-E-A, dew, D-E-W, because it used to, because it loves being by the ocean. It thrives by the sea. And the first mention of rosemary in history is on cuneiform tablets. Can you imagine that? 5000 BC. Crazy pants. I had to show you my lovely little dwarf morning glory. This is called Blew My Mind, B-L-U-E. It's doing well in this pot here. It's in the Princess Diana pot. It's an award winner because it is so hardy and it's a continuous bloomer. Plus, it loves hot weather, so good for California. And here's my cosmos. My cosmos are finally blooming. They took quite a while. They're very tall. This one comes from the seashell blend. It's a beautiful pinky purpley color, and there's lots more buds coming. Let me step back and show you how tall it is. Can you see? Really tall. Now the top flowers I'm not really adding into the purple category, but actually if you were here you would see they do have a little bit of a purple tinge. I don't know if the camera can get that, but they're also from the seashell blend of cosmos. And here we have the calla lily. Calla lilies we usually think of as tall white flowers, kind of trumpety flowers. This is a little bit of a dwarf calla lily. And you can see it's in my purple theme because these small ones are very purple and beautiful. These tall ones are still pinky purpley and beautiful. I'm really excited about these, and I intend to replant them once they're done with their container show. I have such fond memories of calla lilies because they really bloom spring, summer, and autumn. And in the spring, we would always pick them for Easter and bring them to the church to decorate the altar. And my neighbor, where I grew up in the valley, used to have calla lilies all along her house, and we always enjoyed them in the spring playing in the yard. So that's a fun thing about flowers too. They have long, sort of rich histories, but they also have a lot of personal histories. That's what's so wonderful about gardening. It provides memories for years to come.